Well, hello there, you amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. I hope you're all well. This is video 2 of 4. That's it, 2 of 4. It's Wednesday. You're looking absolutely amazing. I'll get straight into the meat and potatoes, as we have a fair bit to get through. Because look, can you remember we spoke about Timmy Reed? Timmy Reed. If you want proof, right? If you want proof that the University of Idaho, that Moscow, as a whole, will protect their own, will ignore things that shouldn't be ignored, then you don't have to look any further than Timmy Reed. Now, some of you may have missed the story about little old Timmy Reed, little Timmy the Tim Meister General. Well, he was a guy in Moscow, Idaho. He was a student. I'm going to show you, just bring your memory back to it. We'll go back off this. We'll come back to that in a second. This is a spokesman review. Look. So, attorney of the University of Idaho seen a beating in February urges action. This is Timmy, and Timmy's holding some fit pictures there. That is the injuries that Timmy sustained. Now, Timmy was so scared at one point he would sleep in his bed with none other than a bladed weapon under his pillow for protection. University of Idaho civil engineering student Timmy Reed was beaten back in February by a group of 40 to 50 people wearing masks and wielding PVC pipes, some of whom were apparent football players. His attorney Tim Gresbach said on Wednesday. Reed sustained a black eye, fractured nose, concussion from being knocked unconscious after his head hit the asphalt. This young man was so addled with fear he slept with a knife under his pillow, Gresbach said. He has cooperated with the university's investigation and appeared for police interview. He has nothing to hide. The Reed family doesn't want this to be swept under the rug. On February 10th, Moscow police responded near campus just before 11 p.m. because of a large fight with multiple people, according to a dispatch report. Moscow Police Captain Tyson Barrett previously said witnesses reported many people involved with football players. And this goes on and on and on, right? Tried to justify the attack, saying there was some it was sort of racially aggravated, but they weren't going to do anything about it. They weren't going to do anything about it. In fact, let me just do a search on Timmy Reed, Idaho. Right, let's just have a look here. Here we go. Let's look at this. Decline, is that the same thing? But they declined to prosecute. Not now, we don't want to do that. So yeah, they declined to prosecute. The Moscow City Attorney's Office declined to charge a group of University of Idaho football players suspected of beating and injuring civil engineering student in February. It's absolutely insane. Just goes back to the same article. So I don't know whether there was articles and they've removed them, but like I say, it's insane. This guy, he's sleeping with a knife under his pillow. He's scared for his life, clearly. He's scared for his life, because why else would you sleep with that under your pillow? Because you think that people are going to come into your house while you sleep. What more evidence do you need that there's shit that goes on around Moscow, Idaho, and the students? They would say that there's seemingly this violence. There's violence that is being tolerated, and it's almost like a normality in it. Let's see if I can find it. Let's have a look. Let's read down it. I don't know what's going on with this article, because this article was a. I think that's probably because it's not on my phone that I can't read it. There's loads of stuff on this article, but it talks about the fact that these students, there's violence, there's aggression, and it's being tolerated. It's going to be ignored. They've got a lack of leadership. They're just being left to do what they want. And you think, why is that? Why do they think that they can get a group of 40 or 50 people and go into someone's home or go to someone's home, beat the shit out of them, and then nothing happens? And then you've got the Idaho 4 situation where people struggle to believe or even consider that the frat fight that we know happened is potentially what led to the deaths of these people in this home. Do you know what I mean? One hell of a fight. If things get out of hand and you've got people who are brandishing weapons, or they've got weapons in the home for protection and things like that, it's do you know what I mean? This could open a massive, massive can of worms here. And look, I'm not turning around and saying forget about anything else. I'm not saying that those that believe that this was narcotics related should ignore that. You know, it's possible. It's something that shouldn't be taken off the table. But as equal as that, you can't take off the table that this was something that started within the house and ended within the house. And the killers of these individuals were known to them. You think about the mechanics of the crime. You know, we're being led to believe that this outsider with absolutely no connection to them whatsoever entered into this house and executed these in, around 8 minutes without taking any DNA from the house, not into his car, not into his apartment, not into his parents' home. There's no proof, no evidence, there's no phone pings that place him there. The PCA actually places him away from the property at the time that they're telling you that this crime occurred. You've got a white Hyundai Elantra in the area, but seemingly there's two white Hyundai Elantras. We've got a white Hyundai Elantra on the peripheral that was found smashed to pieces. They're telling you that had nothing to do with it. But Brian Kohberger's is. Brian Kohberger's the person who did it, with absolutely no connection whatsoever. And the only way that they could bolster this case against him in order to get an arrest warrant was to lie in a PCA, to extrapolate on things, to manipulate the wider public. The whole situation is manipulation of the people in receipt of the information by omitting things that would therefore leave what is in there. It's irrelevant. Funny that we should think that, because then later on down the line, the PCA is deemed irrelevant. And why is it deemed irrelevant? It's deemed irrelevant because the PCA offers no connection, no nothing whatsoever. So what is the fucking connection then? What is it? If the PCA is irrelevant, and within that PCA they spoke about the car that was kind of debunked by FBI, you've got no phone pings, you've got no phone data or no complete data set to support their theory, because that's all it was, a theory. You've got he went here 12 times, but then you've got Ann Taylor saying, well, yeah, he did go there 12 times, but you knew what he was doing on these times. He was able to track his phone. He had his phone switched on. You knew that he went and got here and went. Most importantly, you know where he didn't go. So why did they put it in there? Again, we've covered this time and time again, to manipulate, to control what people thought about this case. Spread it far and wide. This is a case, in my opinion, that firmly depends upon bias. And then you've got the families, such as the Gonsalves families, helping to push that also. But Timmy Reed's a pure example of something that happened that could have resulted in something worse. What do we think would have happened if Timmy Reed died of his injuries? There is nothing reported since then. He had to go and get his own attorney to do this privately, because they would not prosecute. The police wouldn't get involved. They wouldn't do anything from a legal standpoint to say any laws were broken. So he had to get his own attorney and do that. And subsequently, there's been no reporting of it. Nothing more said. Nothing. You can't find anything about it. And why is that? Is it because it was concluded? Is it because someone got a backhander? Was someone paid off? Did the Timmy Reed family get a payout from someone? Did they just walk away? Did they fight it and didn't get anywhere? There's nothing whatsoever. So tell me that isn't an indication of some of the things that happen around this town and how it's dealt with. And now tell me that the frat theory in this situation makes absolutely no sense, and that you're an idiot to think about it. Brian Kohberger, no connection, but then the students in this university are called out for having a tolerance of violence. There is a thread through there of violence, aggravated assault, and being pushed under the rug. I don't need to know anymore. And then to top it off, we now find out that there is DNA in the house of blood. And I know some people are saying that's not new news. It's not new news. I'm tired of hearing people saying that it's new. It is new. We knew that there was DNA found. We know that. But we did not know until recently that that was blood. And it was blood of males, and it was within the vicinity of the crime where it was found in terms of on the banister. And then you pair that with saying that they heard people going up and down the stairs, and then you got blood that's seemingly being hidden. It's a mess. This case is a mess. Will Brian Kohberger get a fair trial? We'll speak about that at some other time. Love you all. Mwah.